Right on.
That's gonna be great.
So Chris was in town. We're old friends.
Yes.
He did a show last night. He invited me to come. I came. We hung out for a while, and I told him what we were doing. He said, "Come." All right.
Say hello.
You know. So I was telling him we got a lot more people, but everybody is not here yet. But I told Chris 4:30 since I said, "Oh, okay, 4:30. People will be late. They'll miss. They'll be here about 4:30. So, So I'm just so glad you came through, man.
Oh, no, that's great, man. That's great. So when is the play?
December 23rd.
23rd?
23rd, man. Any encouraging words you can tell them about show business?
Oh man, well, I definitely. I mean, Tony is a big part of my career because I really got a big break at the Black Bay Area competition when I came out here years ago. I had to be about 22, 23. We drove all the way out here from LA. I had just moved to LA and just got it in time to get into the Black Bay Area competition. I think I got in like 2 weeks right before it started, and I think I was in one round, and I got disqualified because I didn't do enough time. But as soon as I went backstage, and Bob Sumner, a guy named Bob Sumner, who was the scout for Def Jam, came back there and got me and said that they were looking for new talent for Def Jam, and I had just enough time, because they only wanted me to do like I think 5 minutes or something like that.
Exactly.
So I had 5 minutes, but in the contest I was supposed to get 7, so they disqualified me. I was funny, but they disqualified me. So.
But he still won. So he
I
lost
still
the contest,
won.
but won in life.
That's right. Lost contest, but I got a big shot to do Def Jam, and I did Def Jam. It was a really popular show. It was like the second season. Everybody was watching it, and that really sparked my career. I started doing a lot of touring on the road with comedy, and that really helped me. But I would say never give up. That's a story that I would tell you. Like I wasn't giving up. I was backstage. I was like, okay, well I got disqualified, and then next thing you know, somebody came and said, I want you to be on TV. I didn't win the contest, but then I got on HBO, and that really helped me. I went on tour and all that stuff. So you can never give up if you don't win a contest or something. If you don't, you just got to keep going, and then I would always say put God first, and He'll open up doors for you if you continue to work things that you never can imagine will happen because you didn't give up. If you give up, and if you don't work hard at it, then those opportunities are not going to happen. They're not going to open up for you. From Def Jam, I kept working on the road, and then I got Fridays. You guys might know the movie Fridays. I was working so much on the road, I was ready to do some movies, so I said, man, I got to get a movie. And from the hard work on the road and from the break from, I always go back to the Bay Area competition that Mr. Spires, put on. That was a groundbreaking thing that got me to from there to HBO to the movies, and from Fridays to Money Talks to the Rush Hour movies with Jackie Chan, you guys might know about. And from where I'm at today, and I'm still going, still dreaming, and still got to work hard. Even last night at the show at the Paramount.
Sold out.
Oh yeah, we sold out. And I was just thinking, I was telling Tony, I said, man, I remember we drove up there to the Bay Area competition. So you never know where you can go. I never dreamed of coming to the Paramount or selling out any place. I just was loving what I was doing. I had a passion for doing stand-up and a passion for wanting to be an actor. Being a kid watching Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor them perform. And, here I am today, and I'm still dreaming, the sky's the limit, so guys, don't give up and just have fun what you're doing and learn all you can in what you're doing and just enjoy it, because if you enjoy it, before you look up, you'll be, on Broadway somewhere or in some movies or some television shows if you're loving what you're doing. It's never the money. The money comes afterwards. After that, if you're doing great work, all that stuff is just secondary. But the passion and the love is the number one thing. So that's what I would say.
Chris, were you a rich kid?
No. We was middle. I mean, we weren't even middle. We was middle class. Yeah, I would say we was middle class. And I just, I got everything I wanted. I was the youngest of 6 kids, and but didn't have a whole bunch of money like that.
Exactly. So those who are not rich, those who are struggling in their life and in their family life, whatever, it's still possible, right?
Oh yeah, it's even more possible, because I say, you have the biggest gift is inside of you. If you have the opportunity to hone whatever you're good at or whatever you have a passion at, that's your gift, because that gift is going to open up doors for you. And like I said, everything else is secondary. If you're good at what you do, the money is going to come, and even fame, people get recognized. That's all secondary. But if you want that before you do the work, it's probably going to be harder for it to happen. But if you're loving what you're doing, and you got a passion for what you're doing, then next thing you know, I mean, I was doing what I was doing. I was just loving what I was doing. Next thing I was looking up, people was asking me for my autograph, and I was like, for what? You know, oh, we saw you on HBO. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then I did a movie, and then it was like, oh, that's that guy from the movie. You know, I never seeked out to be famous or anything like that. I was just loving what I was doing, got good at it, and people say I was good at it, and you know, everything came from that. But you know, that's all you have to do. Just believe in yourself. I say keep God first and work hard, because those doors will open if you work hard and you continually working in what you love, and things gonna happen. You know.
You mind if they ask you a few things?
Oh, no problem.
Anybody have any questions for Chris? Come on, you guys.
Huh?
Was you really getting beat up by Jackie Chan?
Oh, Jack, no, he, you know, we work together. Jackie be showing me all those moves, man. He got a team of people when we do the stunts and the fighting and stuff. So he's a good guy. He's a good guy. It's a lot of fun.
I do have a question actually. So when you started off like touring and stuff, did you ever get to go back home, or was it like constant like grind like?
Oh, I always went home. Always,
Okay.
every chance I got, I was always on the road, and I was in LA for, I was living in LA at the time, but I always went home. You know, Thanksgiving, every Christmas I go home, because I'm a country boy. I'm from Georgia, so my mom's like, come home, you know.
Yeah.
So I go home all the time, the holidays, and then, you know, whenever I had a chance, I would go home and stuff like that. So it's always good to stay connected with home, because that's where you come from. I mean, that's what you're made of. I think, you know, your family, where you're raised, and you know, your neighborhood and all that stuff. So.
I got a question. How's it like working over in that environment if you're making movies and you know all that other stuff?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I just finished a movie. I did a kind of a different movie. Just like last week, I did a movie with Bradley Cooper from The Hangover and Robert De Niro. It's sort of like a drama, small. Like it was 30-day shoot, like an Oscar type movie. And I'm playing one of the, you know, like a more of a serious part, but it's kind of comedic. And it's just a good thing, because you get to be creative, and this movie was different for me because I wasn't in every scene, you know, like the Rush Hour movies and all that stuff. But when, you know, and it was a different character, so I had to go dig deep and try to get into this different character. And that's the fun part about it. You know, when I did Fifth Element, I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie, but I had to, you know, I was younger then. I was I was a little older than you guys, but it was just. You know, that was pretty fun. It was way out there, so that wasn't really that hard for me. But this movie, I would think it was a little more stretched because the dialogue was different type of character, had, you know, toned it down. So every role is different, and that's what I look for now, because the Rush Hour stuff, I've done that was, you know, that was easy, you know. The action comedies, and then we did the small comedies. Now I want to do something more challenging. So I love it, because every time now, you know, I'm just going to have to push myself and work even harder than I worked when I first started to just reinvent myself. When people see me and say, oh, I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know he could do that. So it's all about reinventing yourself, challenging yourself, but still giving people what they want. You know?
Chris, how did you know you could act? You knew you were funny. But how do you know? I mean, a lot of comedians, you guys, cannot act. And we know who some of them are. Some of them are really funny, you guys. You see them on TV, they're funny. You see them on stage, but they can't act. Chris can act. You guys ever see Dead Presidents?
Yeah.
Written in that movie.
Oh, thank you.
He can act. How did you know you can act?
Yeah, you know, I didn't know. I just worked real hard at it. You know, I would go in the mirror at night, late at night. When I got the Friday script, it was like 60 pages. I was like, oh, this is my shot. This is my shot. I gotta make this work. I gotta put a stamp on it. So I would be up in the mirror late at night, about 3 hours, 4 hours, all in the mornings. You know, I had an apartment in LA, and I made sure I didn't blow that shot. And then something came out. You know, I tapped into something, and that was the character of Smokey. You know. So you have to work hard. You know, the harder you work, the more your genius is gonna come out.
There you go.
So, like, what do you do? What steps do you take? Like, when you take on a character, like, do you, like, isolate yourself from everybody, like, to actually jump into that character? Or, like, what steps do you take?
I just try to, you know, preparation is the key, because when you get on the set, it's a lot of confusion. They you know, the director's yelling, everybody's yelling, and this, that. So you got to get the script. You got to read that script or the play or whatever. You got to read it 1,000,000 times, you know, 10 times, or as much as you remember it, you know, 5 times, whatever. Some people got better memories than others, but preparation is the key, because once you remember it and get it in, soaked into you. Then you know the lines, and then when you get out there, you say the lines, then you get creative. You can add on a little bit more. You can put it in your words, but you gotta know the lines. So preparation is the key, and I would say that's the number one key. And then you have to have some time to yourself just to sit down and read that script, read that play, soak it in, just okay, this is how I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna take it from this one, you know. And then you go out there when you're on that set, you already got it. You don't have to be thinking about it, and you don't have to be confused. When you're on that stage, you already got it. You already know it. It's in there. So that's the key.
Anybody else?
Yeah. I mean, two-part question. How do you make that transition, that leap? You're talking about it in some sense, but how do you make that transition from the comedy competition to, like, the highest paid actor in the business? And then that's the first part, right? The second part is, like, when you are recognized as the highest paid, somebody's gonna give you $20 million to make a picture. What goes in your mind? What do you think? What are you thinking when somebody says, "Here, sign right here for $20 million"? What goes to your mind?